Whatever triggers you is trying to set you free. I know sometimes this just isn't what we want to hear. But in session after session with my clients, the biggest breakthroughs almost never come from the thing they walked in thinking was the problem. They come the moment they stop looking at what triggered them and start looking at what the trigger was pointing to inside of them. Because the thing that keeps setting you off, the person, the situation, the comment, whatever it is not the problem. That thing is the messenger, and it's carrying specific information about you that can genuinely set you free if you'll understand it instead of react to it. That's what this video is about. Stay with me here. Again, like I said in the opening line, this doesn't sound like a fun, feel-good video, but I do believe this is going to be a very helpful video. Because I'm going to teach you how to take the things that trigger you, the ones you've been treating like attacks, and use them as the map to freedom that they actually are. So that sounds really important. I'd love it if you guys stick around. If you're new here, hello, I am your Muse Traci. On this channel, I help you unlock the power you already have but can't access. I help you break through where years of trying has failed. And the biggest hurdle of all, I help you go from intellectually knowing the law to permanently embodying it. If that sounds good to you, you are definitely welcome to join me here and subscribe to the channel. So let me start with something I need you to take in for a moment, because everything else sort of builds on top of this one thing. Nothing in your life is random. The patterns that keep repeating, the cycles you can't seem to break, the same kind of situation showing up in a new outfit, new face, new name, the same feeling rising in you again and again with different people and different circumstances. None of that is coincidence. None of that is bad luck. None of that is, I just got a bad deal this go around. I'll wait till my next life to have it better, work out better. No, none of that is what's going on here. It's all meant to show you something about you. Your life is not a series of random events happening to you, and your reality and the people in it are not set out to get you or destroy you. None of that is also what's going on here. It and they are a mirror reflecting back what you're holding inside that maybe you don't even know about, right? I've talked about this before. The whole thing is a brilliant setup. Out there is going to help you see what's in here that you can't see. You can't see what's in here. So we have this whole thing out there for what? To help you see what's in here, to know yourself. Ooh, what is happening in here? What am I doing to me that I don't like so much, right? So out there is a mirror reflecting back what you're holding inside over and over until you can finally see it. And a trigger is the mirror at its loudest. Something really wants your attention. When something out there sets you off, that reaction is not really about the thing out there. The charge you feel, the heat, the spike, the anger, the ache, whatever it is, that's yours. That's all yours. It was already in you. The outer event just walked up and pressed on, the spot where it lives. Why? So that you can see it. So that you can see you, more of you that you couldn't see before. And the next thing I'm about to say is the basis for understanding all of this. So take a moment. If you need to really let it sink in, this is important. You can only be triggered by what you are already holding within you. If you weren't already holding in you, the thing out there would have nothing to land on. Think about it. And try to think about it like from a non-judgmental place. Okay, we have to be like really accepting and self-loving in this process. Something can be said to two different people and one is devastated and the other feels nothing at all. Same words. The difference isn't the words. The difference is what each person was already holding inside. And it's not really a case of like, oh, they just have thick skin, as most people would think. No, it's not actually about that. It's a matter of what is already being held within that person. The one who gets triggered has a matching wound, a matching belief, a matching story, whatever that, was out there. They already have that matching thing inside of themselves, was already there. And the outer event just sort of like touched it, it's like pressing on it. And likewise, the one that is not triggered simply didn't have the matching belief, didn't have the matching story, didn't have the matching wound. So the words had nothing to press on, nothing to land on. So can you see? The trigger is not actually out there. The trigger is showing you what's in here. The outer world is only ever reflecting back what you are already holding. So let me tell you why this is the best news you're going to hear, even though it maybe just yet doesn't sound like good news, and why the title says the trigger is trying to set you free. Most of what runs your life runs underneath your awareness, the subconscious, right? It's 95% running the show. 5% is your conscious mind, the beliefs you hold about yourself, the old wounds, the assumptions about what you deserve, what's possible for you. They operate in the background, in the dark, below the surface. And as I always say, you can't change what you can't see. A trigger now drags one of them that's, hidden back there in the dark. It drags it up to the surface and into the light. And it's uncomfortable. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But that discomfort is the exact moment that a hidden belief is becoming visible to you. The thing that you most needed to see about what you're holding just, as a little gift showed itself to you. That's not actually an attack on you. That's actually a gift. It may be a gift in terrible packaging, but it is a gift. And this is also why your patterns repeat. That cycle you keep living, it doesn't keep coming back to punish you. This isn't a punishing universe. That's not actually what's going on here. If you have that belief, it would benefit you if you change that belief. It keeps coming back because the thing you're holding hasn't been seen by you yet. You keep mistaking it as like, why are they I'm going to make a video coming up about projection. So you're still projecting it out there and you're not seeing exactly what I'm describing in this video, that it's showing you. You think it's showing you them. No, it's showing you. But the mirror will keep showing you the same reflection in new people, new situations. For as long as it takes, you can stay in the illusion of, oh, it's them as long as you want. But guess what's still coming at you? More, until you go, hey, wait a minute. Wait. Something feels way too familiar here, right? That's the pattern. And you got to wake up and you got to break yourself out of the illusion that this just goes on. People are like this. World is like this. But what are you like? Are you getting to know yourself? The pattern is not stuck on repeat because you're cursed. It's on repeat because it's still trying to deliver something you haven't received yet. But the moment you receive it and you do the work to change what you're holding, that pattern has no reason to keep showing up anymore. It was only ever there to show you something you were holding within. Now, I need to say something carefully here because this teaching gets twisted and I don't want you to twist it against yourself. This is not about blaming yourself for what other people have done to you. The mirror does not mean you caused harm that came to you or that you in fact deserved it. This is about something more useful than blame. It's about taking charge. When something triggers you, you're not looking for who's out at fault here. That's not going to be the best use of your energy. You're looking at the belief about yourself that just got activated, that is really behind your trigger. That belief is yours to see and yours to change. And that is where you have the power to set yourself free. So we're not assigning blame here. We're claiming the one thing that you actually control, which is what you hold within yourself. So let me give you a tangible example of how to work with the trigger instead of drowning in it and endlessly repeating it. We don't want that. We want to stop that. The next time something sets you off, the very first move is to not immediately, point fingers, turn outward. So let's break that habit. Now, everything in you will want to focus on them, want to focus on out there, on what they did, on how wrong it was, on defending yourself. That's that it's going to come up. Okay. That's been your go-to, your automatic. So, okay, it's going to be there. Let's not pretend it's not going to be. It's going to be there. But that keeps you staring at the mirror while completely missing the gift, right? As I've referred to it, which again, it's the whole purpose, to give you a gift. So instead of that, pause and you turn your attention and ask the real question, not what's wrong with them, but instead, what is this showing me that I'm holding? It can sound like, what must I believe? What belief did I just repeat? What belief did it bring up to the surface? What did that event trigger in me to believe, to repeat that I believe, right? What do I believe about myself that would be true for this to hurt this much? That's a good question. And then you listen. Whatever comes up, some old belief, some fear, some story about not being enough or not being safe or not being chosen, that's the thing the trigger came to reveal to you. And that is what you've been holding. That came from within you. So then once you see it, you can get to changing it. This is the belief work, the self-concept work. This is the actual work that sets you free. You don't have to keep holding a belief just because you've already held it for a long time. You do not. You look at it, you recognize it as something you picked up and not the truth of who you are, right? It's just something you picked up along the way. It was never true. And then you deliberately choose a new belief about yourself in its place, a more desirable belief about yourself. And in doing this, you give the mirror something new to reflect. And then you watch what happens, because it's remarkable. As you release the inner thing that you were holding, the outer trigger will lose its charge. Even if it comes up again, you're getting rid of the thing it was pressing on, right? So it's not going to have the same effect on you. That person, that situation, that comment, whatever it is, it stops hitting you in the same way. And the pattern that kept repeating starts to dissolve all on its own, because the thing inside of you that it was reflecting is no longer there to reflect. You changed what you were holding within. So the mirror changed what it was reflecting. That's how this works. So here's what I want you to do the next time you get triggered, and you probably will, let's be honest. Instead of asking, why do they keep doing this to me? Pause and ask, what is the belief that I'm already holding? What must I believe for this thing to be showing up? Find the belief underneath the reaction, and then choose to set it down. You don't have to keep carrying things that are not serving you, and hold something new about yourself. Let the trigger do the job it came to do, which is to show you exactly what's been running you from the inside. Nothing that touches your life is random, and nothing that triggers you is your enemy, believe it or not. Every one of them is pointing at the same exact thing, standing between you and your freedom. If you want to see another video regarding this, check out the video I did around shadow work. That's a really super helpful video for this type of conversation that we're having. It's another helpful tool for resolving triggers within yourself. If you want my help finding what's underneath your triggers and the patterns that keep repeating, and actually get to work so that you can stop repeating those patterns, That's exactly what we do in my coaching program. You can click the link down in the description. There's also a link in the pinned comment for your convenience where you can book a free one-on-one call with me. We can jump on the call to see if we're a good fit to work together. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. See you in the next one.